I just went, this man's probably 70 years old, mind you. He should not be driving. I popped off on him. I yelled at him. I told him I was going to kick his ass. I told him if he had a shotgun to shoot me because I've had enough. I just had hit a total moment. And then the cops came. I told them I didn't want to live anymore and I was tired of it. And then they made me go to a mental institution because I admitted suicidal thoughts to them. So then I had to go there for 5 days, and which I thought it was a sign from God because my nurse's name was Lance.
All right, and welcome to season 2 of After the Anchor podcast. I am your host, Leslie Wise, and my guest, Briann, is finishing out her 20s. She already has a lot of story to tell at 29, where she moved from Florida to Texas, worked in the adult nightclubs, navigating a DWI car crash, two DWI car crashes, and the justice system and all of that entails in that, right? We're gonna talk about having to learn how to basically walk again because of the damage to your ankles and your feet and your legs. So you had to regain all that strength, right? She's transitioned out of the nightclub life, and you're finishing your education?
Yes. All that is correct.
Building a life that includes faith, correct?
I'm getting around to there. So it's slowly but surely kind of coming around.
And so before we get into all of that, I want people to know who you are, Briann, because I met you in 2021. I think we determined that. It was like May of 2021.
Miami.
I met you in Miami, and you were competing in a bikini contest.
When I had
and you
red
had
hair.
been training, and I was just so in awe. I'd been following along because your manager had been telling us all about how you were training and getting prepared for this. And
Which one?
Jimmy.
Oh, Jimmy. Okay,
Jimmy, he was such a cheerleader champion of you. And so I started following along on your fitness journey and preparation. And then when you came, and I got to know you very, very briefly. We barely talked. I just introduced myself. But there was something about you, and I became drawn to your personality, just everything about you. You are a fascinating woman, and I think that you're full of wisdom and life advice. You've already experienced a lot at your age just by even working in the nightclub industry. That definitely equips you. So I just want to get into it and let everybody get to meet my friend Briann.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, everybody.
I'm so excited to be here with my friend, Leslie.
So before we discuss the serious parts of your life, who are you, Briann, on a completely ordinary day? What do you do? Do you have a routine?
Yes, I do have a routine. I wake up, and no, I don't wake up and journal and drink my lemon water, open the window. I go on my phone. I see what notifications I have. I doom scroll for a little bit, wake up my brain, and then I get up, take my dogs for a walk. Oh, put in my contact lenses first because I am blind as a bat. Probably -8.5 is my prescription, which is considered legally blind, I think. I'm very blind. Then I go take my dogs for a walk. Then I get up, I play some music, usually 60s, 70s music on shuffle. And then I drink my creatine and have breakfast, and then I go to the gym. And then that's basically a day-to-day routine for me.
How long did it take for you to find that kind of routine for yourself? Has it been always part of you've always had a good routine, you feel?
Yes, pretty much since I've been a young adult that I've always gotten up and gone to the gym, got up, took my dogs out, and did just good basic routines in the morning because I have to start my day with some kind of physical exercise because if I just start my day and then I try to get back to it later, I won't do it because I know myself too well. So
that fascinates me because I cannot grab a routine and I cannot stick with a routine.
Really?
So it leaves me feeling in chaos, and I'm always searching other people's routines to see what kind of fits. And I guess I would have one. I guess it'd be considered super loose. But I love to hear that. And does your routine start at a specific a time? Do you do this even if it's, so say you have to get up at 7 a.m. for whatever, a flight, work, something. No, you're not going to.
It's just on the days that I know. I mean, if I have to go to work or I have something planned, maybe that day I'm a little more precise and try to be time management. But when I could just take my time and move loosely, that's my normal routine when I'm not getting up for something just besides myself. If I'm not getting up for anybody else or meeting somebody, that's my routine. But if I'm going to the airport, I'm rolling out of bed. I'm getting there 30 minutes before the flight leaves. So when I used to date Lance, he needed to get there 3 hours, 2 hours before the airport. We sat there, twiddled our thumbs, but I didn't pay, so I didn't say anything. But when I go, I roll out of bed and I pray I make it. And I've never missed a flight yet. So.
Where did your routines, do you know where that came from? Was it established when you were younger? Did you have a sibling, or were your parents role models of this, or you just kind of naturally just fell into this?
That's a great question. Actually, my parents don't have any good healthy habits, in my opinion. They're smokers, they're drinkers, they don't go to church, they don't work out or have a good structured routine, I'd say. They're just different people than me.
Yeah.
But I'd say that my routine really fell into place during COVID because I was at home. I worked out all the time in my garage because I had a house, and then I got more into it. I started getting in shape better. I started to see results, so I stuck with it. And then when I moved into my apartment, I got into the routine of taking my dogs for walks because before I just let them out the backyard.
How old were you in COVID?
Let's see, 2020, I was 23 years old.
23. So you were, yeah.
Oh, man. That was already 6 years ago. Wow.
If someone spent a full day with you today, what would they learn about you that they would never get from any other experience, social media or professional workplace, not with your boss? Like, if just a stranger said, "Can I spend the day with you?" What would they learn about you that another person might not?
They might think, well, me on social media versus in person, I'm exactly the same.
Okay.
I'm completely the same. Whatever I post, whatever I say to somebody, I'm completely the same. Just what you'll see is someone who has a very interesting schedule. You get up, you walk the dogs, you play the music. They might be why are you listening to B.B. King? Why are you listening to Otis Redding? Like, why are you listening to the Stones? You're 29. You're not 85 years old. That'd probably be their first impression. And then they'll see that I'll drink a creatine with water and maybe not scarf down a Monster to go hit the gym. And then they'll see that my house is very mid-century modern, so they may not expect that from somebody my age. So, and they may also see that I'm very particular with how I like my house. So I don't like to leave dishes in the sink. I don't like when someone leaves something here or something there. I'll tell them to go put it back in the correct place or do it right. So they might even actually get annoyed with me, with my structure. But they might like my sense of humor, jokes. They might be surprised that when I get around town, I use my electric bike. I don't take Ubers everywhere. I don't walk. So they might find that interesting too. Like, I'll go on my e-bike with my skirt and my heels. They'll find that interesting too.
I like that. Where did your love for music come?
I've always been into different kinds of music, really. But I think after Lance died is all of a sudden I started having that sense of, they say when someone you love passes, you kind of adopt their habits and their things about them. You kind of get that. So when he passed, I just started taking an interest in the music that he would show me or take me to certain concerts or make me listen to or watch documentaries on. So, and then I started to like it a lot, and I was like, wow, he really is right. This music is really great. So then I started liking it a lot, and then it just only kind of went uphill from that. And then, but I've always liked, artists from the 80s and 90s, and then it got more the 60s and the 70s, and started to take an interest in that.
A piece of him kind of fused into your, stitched into your being and in the form of music. I know that
Yes.
I love watching your stories because I don't know about now, but I know that you've gone to karaoke bars, and I can't sing, but I love to sing.
That's okay. That's what it's for.
Exactly. It's to go and have fun and be silly. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I could so go and do karaoke with Briann. I know that I could go and do it with you and go and have a really good time. So I'd always wondered, did that come from your parents? Did it come from a sibling? Where did that love for music? But it was from Lance.
The music, yes. The karaoke was always in the heart because I love singing. But I didn't start going to karaoke bars until after he passed. It was kind of just like my own thing I started going to do. It was something fun for me. And then I started going with all my friends, and we'd go to karaoke rooms, karaoke bars, and everything became karaoke. And it just was just something fun I started doing on my own afterwards. And
Yeah, because like you yell, like you will scream,
yeah, because I'll go up there and then I'll dress, like I usually will dress nice like this, or maybe a little bit more sexy when I go out, and they'll expect me to go up there singing maybe, Olivia Rodrigo or some Taylor Swift, and I'll be like, it's my first time singing. I'll kind of like be all shy, and then I'll just boom get into it and freak them all out, and I'll get standing ovations, I'll get claps, I'll get high fives. People love it.
I would totally give you a standing ovation. I would be like, let's mosh it out.
You should. It's a lot of fun.
No, we
Karaoke's
are.
fun.
We're going to do it. We are so 100%. We're gonna book a date. We're gonna book a date.
I love booking dates.
For
That's
sure,
amazing.
for sure. Like I've asked enough people around, like, hey, when I'm in the social circle and I know that they're kind of fun, I'll be like, hey, I love karaoke. Would you ever do? And they're like, oh yeah, but nobody ever like follows through.
What? Or they're like, I gotta be drunk to do karaoke. I'm like, why?
Basically, all of this is just a pretense to get you to go do karaoke with me. I'm just trying to like make you be my friend.
Say no more. I used to listen to music in the car to practice new songs. And then I go to my not so popular karaoke spots to practice the debut. And then I go to my favorite spots to do it, to see how it sounds.
I would let you like pick out whatever. That's the fun part, is like just being like, pick out a song and just letting someone else have full control and then just having to do it. I think it'd be so much fun.
Oh, no, you may not like, because I'm going to make you pick something really big and dramatic.
That's okay. I can do it.
I know
can be
you can.
Susan Boyle. I can Susan Boyle it.
Okay.
Do you know who she is?
You can do it.
She
Yes,
was
I know
the
who Susan
lady
Boyle
from
is.
that. Yeah,
From American Idol.
And they all like, she stepped out and they were all expecting her to be like
Terrible.
And then they're all crying and their mouths are like, and I'm going, no, I'll totally Susan Boyle it.
You could do
give
it,
me
I promise you.
whatever.
You would do great.
What are you interested in right now? Like, what are you doing other than school, other than nothing with work, school, or recovery, nothing rebuilding? What do you like to do? Do you like to go walk and look for bald eagles in nests? What do you do? Do you knit? What would your hobbies be if you could do a hobby?
I would
What's your
say
interests?
about a year and a half ago, I would say no hobbies. But now, even so, I guess trying to go to church sometimes. I would say the gym has always been my hobby. I don't do any like super extracurricular activities like Pilates or yoga or anything. I don't go any knitting classes. I don't go in any book clubs. I have a very difficult time sitting and reading a book. I cannot do it. It's so hard for me, but I wish I could. But I don't know. But hanging out with friends. My family moved over here, so I hang out with my family a lot. I try to go to Topgolf, maybe the movies. Cooking, I like to cook at home, so a couple things like that.
What changed from last year? You said last year you didn't have any hobbies, interests.
No, not last year, because all I was doing was just getting drunk and getting high and going to the club, waking up with a hangover, going to work, eating like shit. I quit with a lot of my workout routines. I just kind of just like let myself go and just get down this path. And I knew that it wasn't bad, but then I was like, I just don't know how to get out of it. This is my routine, but I don't know how to get out of this routine. So I was not attractive to any man. There was no man that would want to come and see a girl who's just stripping all the time, bartending all the time, but then not even doing anything well for herself, not going to church or not going to do hobbies, not spending time with family or friends or going to do anything really internally healing for herself. Just drinking and doing coke all the time.
But what was keeping you in that spot?
Just comfortability. I think after Lance died, I went down this really bad path. And then when things started to get better for me and I was able to surpass it and not get over it, but get through it. But then I'd already formed so many bad habits and I went down this rabbit hole and it was just so hard to get myself out of my mess that I created. I just felt like stuck. It was like a cavity that is, when you kept ignoring it, it just got bigger and bigger. But you don't even notice it's getting bigger until just like, boom, it's too late. But we had talked about it earlier on the phone that we all have like this wake-up call where we're kind of like, the God or the world is teaching you a lesson, and if you don't learn it, it'll come and try to give you that same lesson. That happened for me in August 2024. I I was working at Choctaw and I was driving and I hadn't paid that car payment yet. I just started a new job. I couldn't pay my phone bill. My phone service just got shut off that morning. And then this older man hit me. He like T-boned me, and then he T-boned my car, and I didn't want to be late for my new job, so I was going to try just to ignore it and just do the hit and hit. Well, he hit and run me, but I was just going to go to work because I didn't have time to deal with it. Couldn't drive the car, couldn't call for help because I had no phone service, couldn't call my job. I just felt stuck. And then I got out of that car and I just went, this man's probably 70 years old, mind you. He should not be driving. I popped off on him. I yelled at him. I told him I was going to kick his ass. I told him he had a shotgun to shoot me because I've had enough. I just had hit a total moment. And then the cops came. I told them I didn't want to live anymore and I was tired of it. And then they made me go to a mental institution because I admitted suicidal thoughts to them. So then I had to go there for 5 days, and which I thought it was a sign from God because my nurse's name was Lance. So I thought it was interesting. So then they got me out. They were going to get me on antidepressants, told me to go check in with like a therapist and all that great stuff. And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do that. The next week I was doing coke and drinking and doing the same shit I'd done before.
Yeah.
So it didn't even help. And then I got into a relationship. My bad habits made him break up with me. And then just all those bad habits. So that wasn't even a learning lesson. I literally went to a mental institute for 5 days and had no phone, nothing but my own thoughts, and thought I would do better. But then as soon as I got out, it went right back. So it went right back to it. So it didn't even help.
Well, that's the neural pathways that were already built, and we know that the brain loves to do the simplest, most repetitive thing. It's really hard to actively change to stop the ball rolling down the hill. But there are very strong people that I come across in life, such as yourself, who are not scared to go, okay, whoa, I'm going to stop the ball. Even though it's like causes mass chaos and disruption to stop the ball, it's almost easier to let it keep going for everyone else. But when you stop the ball, everyone else has to now also be navigating this with you because they're in your immediate environment, you know. And a lot of the times I feel like sometimes these people become casualties when we are stopping the ball from rolling down the hill. But yeah, I find that that's something that I admire in you, is that it's like you recognize that there was something and you were looking for the signs, you just weren't quite ready yet. But there's nothing wrong with what you did. You did what your brain designed
It just didn't care.
to do. It was like, this is what we know, this is easiest. Mm-hmm. And unless you were actively trying to be like, we're not going to do this today, but it's just, I feel like you were. When did Lance pass away?
March 2023. So that whole year was really bad. But then that following year, 2024, was even worse. Because I think maybe the realization hit, and then my bad habits kind of just built up. And then my apartment didn't want to renew to me. I lived with a friend for 6 months. My car got impounded. Credit cards maxed out. I used my $25,000 savings. I was just focusing on getting drunk and going to the parties all the time. It was just bad, but I knew that it was bad, but I wasn't trying to fix it. So
you didn't realize it was grief, or did you realize it was
I
grief?
knew. I was like, oh yeah, because this is all because it started with that, because he was my moral compass. And now there's no one holding me accountable. I didn't have a husband. I didn't have children. I didn't have family here. So the only person my bad habits affected was me. So when I took myself home every night, the only person I disappointed was myself. Being too hungover to go to work, it affects money in my pocket, but the only person it affected was me. It didn't affect anybody else.
Yeah.
So it's a little easier to stay in your habits when you don't have anyone else around you that really is you're coming home to at night.
Yeah.
Or, because, I didn't have anybody around, so just friends.
It's still pretty easy to stay in these bad habits. I've learned the last several years that I can't rely on my children and my husband to keep me in my moral compass or my good habits, because they all leave. They all leave.
I hope they're not watching
this. No, yeah, they all grow up, and it was like I had 5 little moral compasses, and then one goes away, the second gets married, the third goes away, and then my first, like my baby, he left, and I was going, I still have one, but she's going to leave. And then what am I? Now I'm a 55-year-old, like, diabolical lady that is going to try to figure it out now. And I was like, no, bitch, you got to get this together, like, sooner than later. Once I started to realize that I can't, like, sustain on just being a good human because I have children. And I don't mean a good human. I mean walking the good line, you know, being in the house, doing the laundry, being in PTA and doing all that. Like, you can't, that's only sustainable with another person for so long. So I've been looking for that inside myself as of late. But yeah, when you said that Lance was your a bit of a moral compass.
Yeah, he was.
I
He
felt
helped.
that's the same where I was in that dilemma like 2 years ago going, I have been doing my life for the kids and I've kind of lost that in myself, you know, and I've got to hone it back into what's important to me.
I don't think it's selfish that you also want to be present for yourself too.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I don't have any children, but my mom has 5 from my dad, and she's 52 now, and she had her first kid at 23. Me and my brother is still 13 years old, and she's still a mom, and she spent her entire life being a mom. And I'm like, when do you ever put yourself first? You're not buying yourself a pair of shoes first. You're not taking a trip, buying yourself makeup, or going on a date with a couple guys and having romance for yourself. And I think it's good to be a mom, be present, but I think it's okay to also be selfish sometimes if you're not hurting anybody.
I've watched a lot of women before me do this, and it's like, okay, no, I want to start to find this little pocket of myself, which is the podcast, something that I can find pride in and something that makes me feel good and makes me feel like an individual as well, you know. But anyway, that was a fun little side.
But you need that when
Yeah.
when you become married or you have a boyfriend or you have children, you kind of like form your life with them and you kind of like lose that individuality. It's important to be able to keep that too.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Is there anything in a day, any day, that makes you laugh without fail? Without fail. Your dogs, do you love, is there anything that you just find humor in?
Probably myself, because even when I'm at home alone, I'll still crack jokes to myself or just make fun of something, and I'm like, well, I'm funny. Oh, wow, that was really funny. Or like, oh, yeah, that person on Instagram, when I cyberbullied them, that was funny. Because I know that's bad. And then my dogs will do funny things, and I'll tell them funny jokes. But I like being alone, and I am totally okay with being alone, and I've got accustomed to it, so I can make myself happy, enjoy my own company, and I'm very happy that way. So, yeah, I make myself laugh all the time, and I love it.
I think I'm hilarious to me.
You are
And then
hilarious.
sometimes I'm like, oh, nobody has to find this. Nobody can find this as funny as me. And then especially, do you maniacally laugh at yourself?
Yes.
I do too. It's like my favorite.
Good, you
Maniacally
should.
laugh all alone in the house. But
should.
is there anything that people misread about you? Or do you care?
I think everybody cares a little bit.
Yeah, a little.
People say, I don't care what anybody thinks about me in life. We care a little bit.
What is the weird little thing?
Like if a person came up to you in the street and go, damn girl, you look like shit, that bother you.
Yeah.
That bother you a little bit. Or like, damn girl, why the hell your face look like that? I'm sure that bother you just a little bit.
Yeah.
So we do care what people think. Maybe not a lot, but we do affect it a little bit, I think. But I think people think about me. Maybe they think I'm mean looking, maybe when they first see me without talking to me first, maybe. But I think I act, and I don't know, I think people think I'm mean looking when they first meet me.
I think
or
you're
see me.
assertive. You were intimidating. Intimidating because you were so pretty and like your confidence. And when you were walking around in like your bikini and you were just like, hello.
Oh,
and-
serious mode, that's
yeah,
why.
yeah. And I was like, but I didn't think you were mean. I just took you as confidence. I was a little intimidated, but then I was like, we're just women. We're just women. And what's the harm? Like, you can always, like, the worst is she'd be like, why are you talking to me? But you weren't.
Right.
And so, yeah.
You just get me fired. Hey, that girl's,
I
she was
am
mean
not
to me.
that one. I am not. I wish I had that power, but I do
Oh, really?
not. I mean, it'd be kind of fun, but no.
Dang.
Is there anything that you do like letting people get wrong about you and you kind of like play into it?
Maybe before when I was a dancer, people would assume that I'm dumb or that can you swear on this podcast?
No, please. Yes, you can swear all you want.
Or they would think I'm a whore.
Okay, yeah.
They were like, so when I would go on dates with men, I would refrain from telling them my job because it either goes one of two ways. They're like, oh, I love that. Send me nudes. That means I can get away with more. Or they would find it completely repulsive. So I think, so when I was a dancer, when I would tell them it was my job, they would assume so much about me, that I'm a whore, that I do drugs all the time, that I go home with customers all the time, that I'm just this big person. Some things about that, getting drunk all the time and stuff, but most of my crazy partiness was outside of work or after work. It wasn't during the business hours.
Yeah.
So, but that was assumption that I just would be in VIP, giving head to customers or letting them take me home and all this stuff. So I think that was maybe their biggest assumption of me. And they assumed I wasn't smart or that I didn't want anything else in life. And they're like, you want to do this till you're 55 years old? And I would go, yes.
Yes.
Yes, I plan on doing this forever. Why can't I? They have surgeries. I would do that. I would mock customers all the time. Like, why can't I? Are you serious? All the time. So, but, and then I would tell them my past, like I was in school or when I was younger or I did these jobs, and they'd be like, oh man, what happened? And I'm like, I don't know. Things happen in life. So people assume that maybe I'm not the smartest as I really am, just because they see the life that I had lived, the party life, the stripping or being a bartender or the friends I hang out with. They would assume that maybe I'm not a very smart person because the life that I had lived for so long, when you see who I was in high school and even in early college, complete opposite. It would have shocked the hell out of you. Or when they see me on the street as my outfits and the way I present myself, they would never assume that what I did for my occupation was true. Or the partying that I would do and the clubbing that I go to, or going to people's house parties till 6 a.m. They just assumed I wasn't smart or whatever. I'd always been a bad person maybe.
Do you feel that you ever had a different personality for when you would be at work? I know I for sure, when I was working in the industry, I definitely had a different personality for every customer, I guess. I was never, and it made me think that when you were saying that in comparison to what you wear in the street and what they might not believe that, you would be an entertainer.
Yes.
Yes. So that's, do you feel that you would change your personality in the club?
Actually, no. I was the exact same person in the club, except my name was different. My clothes were different. I've actually had customers say, you come off as a little too harsh, a little too aggressive. You need to soften up and be more feminine. And then I've actually taken dancer courses. I don't know if you know who Rags to Riches is.
Yeah.
I've taken
Yes.
I've taken her courses to get better at monetizing, getting a softer image to make more money, and it worked great. But then after Lance died, I'm just like, fuck it. This is what you get. This is who I am. If you like it, you don't. If not, I'm walking away from the table. I got a little more aggressive. I went back to my not so soft feminine self. And then afterwards, it was basically the exact same person. So for only a small brief moment, I softened up and got better with my sales and was nicer to customers. But then I kind of, most of the time, was mostly myself. So I didn't put on like a persona that did this and I had this, and I don't know. I couldn't do it. I couldn't fake it. I had to be me. I had to have the jokes, had to have the autistic personality, ADHD, whatever. I had to be me.
I was the complete opposite. I had a
Really?
completely different personality inside, because on the outside, back then, I was a much more guarded. I had to be more guarded in my personal life. I was always very defensive. Jaded would be what you would describe me. I was not very approachable. Definitely,
Really?
definitely bitch was. And I wasn't. I just was guarded. I gave that impression so that you just don't come into my bubble, and I don't have to worry about your character. I don't have to worry about if I'm going to have to go around in circles with you. So I always had that very stand up. That was my personality. That was my natural personality. Unless you knew me on a very personal level, but if we were going to go out in public, you would see a totally different version of me. Like, don't come near me,
Really?
I'm not approachable. I'm not approachable. And then when I would go into the club, I was much more bubbly, but I feel like that really was more congruent with my actual self the girl inside the club, the bubbly one, the one that could be fun, the one that could be silly, the one that could be, like authentic, just be naturally myself, because I had a different, yeah, of course there were customers that are going to be assholes. There's definitely, but I also found great customers that would just come in and they'd find it endearing, they'd find it authentic, refreshing, having someone not, because in the club it was typically like very, I'm sexy and I'm
Very robotic.
I'm very this, and I'm like, wee-ha, like, and I'm sober or drunk, whichever one it was that I was choosing, but I could be more myself in the club environment. And anytime I was at work, actually, I always thought that I could be myself at work, and I had to put on a protective front out in the world.
I think because maybe in the club there's no pressure. They're not like, you have to act this way to a customer. Like there's not like a rule book like you would when you go to a regular job.
Restaurant,
a handbook.
Yeah, yes.
You could relax a little bit. You could wear what you want. I mean, obviously there's some rules, but not a lot. And then you could just relax and kind of be yourself. There's no manager telling you, breathing down your neck, how to talk to a customer, going over an interaction. You could actually just be you. And the best part is if you don't like the interaction, you can excuse yourself. So
Yes.
you can't really excuse yourself from most day-to-day activities without being rude,
Yeah. About the rags to riches, it was rags, like rags to riches, correct?
Yeah.
I always have I have a friend who is she does bottle service and in the industry in Vegas, and so we are always talking about the club and ways to make things better for the girls in the industry. And so I always wonder with these training trainer, I don't know what you would call it, like a training course or something.
Yeah.
Did you find that beneficial? Because I do think that if you're in the club, you might as well be using it to the best of your advantage, marketing yourself properly, learning how to talk to customers. Is that the kind of thing that you found in that course? I'm genuinely curious.
Yes, it was an expensive course, but it was worth every single penny because it was very thorough training of marketing, psychological training, how to talk to customers, examples, the best way how to sell yourself, your image, your brand, everything. It was very good. She's a very smart person, and I've taken a few of her courses and other kinds of courses, and it was incredibly helpful, and it helped me make a lot of money. So it was good. It wasn't just like how to manipulate customers, but nothing like that.
Yeah.
I mean,
Anybody that thinks that that's how you're going to actually make money, it is so short-sighted because you will not have a repeat customer.
no, it won't.
Like as soon as they get your game, they're gone. It's like you have to build an authentic relationship if you want these customers to come back.
People think it's so easy too. There's not a lot of training
With boundaries.
and sales training.
Yeah, too, with boundaries, like learning how to give your customers boundaries, but to where
It's
they
so
want to come
hard.
back. Yeah.
In my opinion, just dancing in general, every customer has a shelf life. It's not going to be forever because being a bartender and a server is different because they can't touch you. There's a drink involved. There's no touching allowed. So it creates a gap between what you can and can't do, and they're smart enough to know that. When you're a dancer, it's different because there's touch involved. There's more allowed, so they think that everything's allowed eventually, especially when they give you so much money and they eventually want to be with you or have intercourse. It's more possible because of that, the intimacy, the touching. With bartenders, you can't touch your bartenders.
No.
You just drink. That's what their sole purpose is, to get you drunk. As a dancer, my purpose isn't to get you drunk.
Yeah.
So they have shelf lives. And for me, in my dancing career for 10 years, I've had maybe 2 regulars. I never was able to keep regulars. I never could. Never had customers. I mean, there's customers that come in and be like, hey, I know you. Let's get a few dances here and there. But never a customer who would consistently really come in for me, except one customer, but then he died. Why does everybody die?
Then he died.
Everybody dies.
Yeah, I always envied the more professional, like the veterans that had, like, oh, my customer has been coming in for 4 years every Wednesday, and I'm like,
How?
What? Like you haven't gotten on his nerves. He hasn't gotten on your nerves. You haven't and so it does always make me wonder, like, how do some of these.
Like, oh, he's never seen, I've never been out with him outside the club, never had sex with him, and he gets my
think
dog
that's
food
the
and he
way.
takes care of my daughter. And I'm like, what manipulation tactics are you using? There's no way.
There's no way.
There's no way. That
There's
sounds
no
so bad.
way. I know. Well, maybe one day I'll have an industry girl that like had the customer that lasted forever that will actually tell us the truth of how they kept that customer for 4 or 5 years, you know. I mean, do you and now it's a little different because it's acceptable to have like the OnlyFans and then all the dating
Sugaring
apps, you know. I don't know, when I was an entertainer there you were not leaving. There
Honestly,
were
I think
definitely
that's better
girls
that you
who
didn't have
did
it.
leave. There were girls who did do private parties outside of the club, but they always went with a group of friends. I wasn't ever invited to those events.
Oh, why?
Oh,
Because you're mean.
Yeah, because I mean, I'm also not a team player because I found out what a team player meant in the club. And I was like, I am absolutely not a team player. So yeah, I guess maybe that's why I don't get invited. And maybe that's why there's no like 4 or 5 year, you know, like customer. I don't know.
It is possible. So in a way, you're your own problem, but it also was profitable for you. So does it really matter? Because in the end, it worked out for you.
It worked out. I mean,
someone
hey,
found
look,
you a team player.
I'm not trying to like go to the private parties. I just was, I mean, it does beg to question like, why was I left out? Was it me? What was it? You know, I always wonder.
It could have been that, I don't
was
know,
not a
she's
good
cool
dancer,
like that.
though.
Maybe she does. She's probably not going to do a line. She's probably not going to do a line to hook off that customer's butt cheek. So
No, but
we're not taking her with.
No, but I would line it up, and I'm not gonna judge you. But no, I don't have to participate in that party.
Maybe they didn't think that you were loose enough or open-minded enough. Could be that too.
Yeah, for sure.
Or you're
Which
not a bad girl.
I was not loose enough, and I was not open-minded enough. But that's okay, and I don't judge.
That's not a bad problem.
No, not a bad problem. So I want to play a little game. I told you about this game.
Yes,
Did I tell you about it? Okay, yeah. So I, of course, love therapy and everything kind of therapy related. And so this is going to be called Humatherapy, and we're going to follow it with a vibe check.
Okay.
And I'm going to tell you what that is. Vibe is not really my vocabulary, but I kind of liked it for this because it is like a mood check afterwards. So
You said humming?
yep, I'm going to hum you a song that is hardwired, allegedly. This is hardwired into your brain. For anyone who grew up in the late 2000s and 2010s, these are highly recognizable karaoke anthems, but they're a bit more challenging to hum without lyrics. Once you guess the song, I'm going to just ask you a vibe check, a mental health vibe check that goes along with the song. If you don't know the name, you can say the artist, or you can also sing along. You know, you don't have to know the name. Not everybody knows like band names.
Sure,
you know what I
yeah.
mean? But once we know you, we get the song. Okay.
All right.
Okay. Are you ready? Are you ready? All right.
Yep.
Okay.
How to do my own hum.
Okay.
Yeah, hey there, Delilah. What's it like in New York City?
Good job. Okay. So this song is all about making long distance work. What is one long distance relationship or friendship you've had to work hard to keep healthy? And how did you do it?
You know what? The person, my first love, the man I lost my virginity to, it was a long distance relationship.
Oh, and how did you make that work?
We met on this app. Do you remember the app Thumb? No. Oh, we met there. He was from Germany. He came over to meet me.
Stop it. Okay, so there's okay.
My parents found out
the app
because
is Thumb. How old were you when you got Thumb app?
the Thumb app. I was 16, and then I met him when I was 17.
So
It's an
did we have
opinionated site.
blueberries and blueberries, blackberries? We have blackberries and iPhones.
Yeah, this was
Okay,
in,
so
what year are we in? This was in like 2012, 13.
okay, cool. Okay,
Yeah.
so the Thumbs app.
Yeah, it was your Thumb.
And that was a dating?
No, it was just like people would post pictures and you would thumb up or thumb down and comment on it. It was like an opinionated site. Or it used to be called like opinionated or something.
Has this app changed and grown into anything else like Tinder or Swipe Left? It sounds like that.
Oh, it's like an opinion. Like you give your opinion on certain videos, pictures, artists.
Okay.
Oh, it doesn't exist anymore.
Where did the German man, how did he play into this?
I don't know. We commented on something. We started talking. Next thing you know, we're in a long distance relationship. We met each other. I was 17. He was 19 at the time.
He met here in America.
Yeah,
Came and he said, "Hey, gonna come check you out in Florida." Mm-hmm. And then he said, "Come on, let me not tell my parents."
Oh no, it ended really bad because it sounds like a movie.
I don't know how it could end well, but go ahead, tell me.
It ended bad because I didn't tell my parents. And then the only reason my parents found out is because his appendix burst when he was here, and he went to the hospital. The hospital did a wellness check on me, and when they found me and brought me to my parents.
How old was he?
19. Yeah, he's 17.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
That's the only reason why they found out, because his appendix burst, and he had to go to the hospital. Then the hospital did a wellness check on a minor, and then they came to the hotel like, "Hey, we're gonna bring you to your dad's." I'm like, "Hey, Dad."
Did you get to say goodbye?
I don't remember if I saw him again after that. I can't remember.
But like, you're not even gonna get to check on him. Sorry.
He came again the next year, and that's when I lost my virginity to him. And then my mom met him and everything, and my parents.
So that whole year, that was the buildup of all the buildups.
Yeah.
And then he came back.
Yeah.
And did they like him?
No, because my parents don't like anybody.
Did they say sorry that you had your appendix burst last time you were here? No.
No, they were just like, "Whoa, you're really far away. I don't want my daughter moving to Germany." But
so that was that.
That's just my parents. They never like anybody, any of their children to date. They just always have something bad to say about something. So there's nothing nice to say. I could probably have the nicest man, probably built from God himself, and I don't know, could be perfect, and they would probably have something bad to say about him.
Oh, yeah.
Unfortunately.
You can't help that. Next song. Are you ready?
Yep.
Okay. I'm trying to figure out where to start on this one. I'm going to start at the beginning. I'm going to make it hard. Okay?
Ooh.
Okay.
Okay. Went to the plenty of Miley Cyrus, part of the USA.
Yes. Very good. Okay,
you.
so the vibe check on this is stepping into new spaces can be intimidating, right? What is your go-to trick to feel grounded when you walk into a room where you don't know anyone? Like Miley Cyrus, Party in the USA. She's stepping off the plane.
That's a great question. Believe it or not,
Like today, what did you do?
like believe it or not, even person who's extroverted as I am and outgoing and theatrical, I get shy and timid too sometimes. I normally just kind of keep kind of quiet for a little while and keep to myself until someone would kind of talk to me first, and then I can open up. So yeah, so the extrovert person gets shy. I can wait for someone to talk to me first.
So you wait for someone to like, and then if not, is that it? Do you stay long?
I just kind of stare at people.
You stare at people until someone matches you, and then they're like, oh, hey, they lock eyes. Okay.
Yeah, eventually. Hopefully, they do talk to me first. Be like, "Hi, who are you? I like your eyeballs." I don't know, something.
They look crazy like mine. Yeah. Okay, here's our next song. This one I only I know the lyrics. Okay.
That's okay. I guess you could go.
Yeah. No.
Happens all the
Yes!
time.
Very good. It's Lady
quarter
Interval.
after one.
Yes.
That's right.
Okay, that's a good one. So
took
that
a
was
minute.
the vibe check. Good
Right.
job. That one was a hard one.
that
This
was a
is
hard
the
one.
ultimate late night drama song. When your midnight worries or overthinking creep in, how do you talk yourself down at night to get some sleep? Do you have any stop the brain? How do you stop your brain?
Honestly, I don't. I don't stop it. I don't relax it. I just let it run its course and let myself freak out until I eventually stop, until I'm eventually tired.
So you don't fight it.
No, I really can't. Once my body is kind of like uptight and nervous and I get knot in my stomach about something, there's no getting rid of it. There's no breathing techniques, go taking a walk. I don't follow any of that stuff. I'm stubborn. I'm stubborn. I just doom scroll on social media until something I find funny or ridiculous, and then I'm like, okay, that made me feel a little better. Maybe now I can go to sleep.
So you search for the dopamine. You won't go get up and like get to tea or something. And I've never done that too. I don't do, well, now I do grounding things because it's crazy. I can't
say
hold
you
on for the
should.
ride anymore. Like, whoa, that's hard. But yeah, so I was just curious. You just,
Nothing.
you let it be.
I let it be. I kind of like let it eat me alive a little bit and let it take its course, and then it just goes away on its own. I just kind of let it be.
Do you feel like it helps when you don't fight it?
I don't know, because I just never really tried fighting something. The only time I really fought something is when I would go drink it away. That's the only time I really fought something, or I would cry, just let it take its course. I've never like got up to go take a walk and drank my tea, or maybe music sometimes. I'll listen to music, but I won't listen to music late at night because like, oh, it's too late for music. It's past my bedtime. No music.
No music.
I know that sounds so stupid. No caffeine,
But
no
it's
music.
so funny. No caffeine, no music, but doom scroll.
I know.
I love
know.
it. No,
It's so
but
bad.
it works. But it works. So that was the question. There's no right or wrong.
I'm Gen Z. I just doom scroll and distract it until it goes away. But it has to be something funny. I won't turn on the TV and watch TV to help myself fall asleep. I always found that weird. People do that.
Yeah, I have to, if I do the TV, it's going to be like I Love Lucy or
Love that show.
something that is, very like QVC will even do anything that doesn't require, me to think too much.
Or like really figure out the plot. It's just kind of like it's there for you and just does all the work for your brain.
Yeah.
You just want to laugh.
Exactly, just laugh. Do you want to do one more song?
Sure.
Okay, we'll do one more.
Oh yeah, my bad. The mic. Thank you.
Okay, we're going to do one more song and then we're going to keep on going. And
Very interesting activity. Did you make this activity up?
yeah, I love to sing.
It's interesting.
I love to hum. I know it's really good for your like the vagus nerve is where like all your chemicals come through. It's like a little highway tunnel back here. And if you open it up, all the chemicals from your brain dump down your spine. And I'm not a medical provider or anything. It's what my brain rationalizes. But apparently
okay.
the
I believe
vagus
you more
nerve
than
like
AI,
opens
so.
it and it pulls it down. And so it works. I like to hum. Have you ever like
It's therapeutic.
When I was a kid, I realized this the other day. I was thinking about something and I was like, I used to growl. I was a growler. When I'd be pissed off about something, I'd be like,
Like a dog.
yes, but nobody would hear me. It wasn't like my parents. I was like, or the cat sound. I would do the cat sound too. It's
Meow?
very bizarre, but anyway.
That's okay. We're all a
I
little
am
bizarre. It's okay.
Okay, so here's the next one. Okay.
Oh, Kesha.
Yes.
God, what song is it? Is it Wake Up in the Morning Feeling Like P. Diddy?
Yes, it is that one. And the vibe check on this one is, how do you protect your mental peace first thing in the morning? Are you a wake up and conquer the world person, or do you need a slow, quiet hour to yourself? Which we've already kind of addressed, but you do like that hour to yourself to scroll, you said?
I just get up. I'm not for an hour. I just get up for a little bit. Or sometimes I'll just kind of sit there and twiddle my thumbs.
And your puppies, you said you have two dogs? What kind of dogs?
Italian Greyhound and then a Terrier mix. So they're at home right now.
What are their names?
Rommel and Marlena. And then, three, and then Hamilton. But I kind of co-parent with
Rommel, Milena, and
I
Hamilton.
know, very professional names.
I love it.
They're very, very proper names.
I love it. Are they proper?
I don't know. I mean,
I don't like proper.
They eat toilet paper, so no.
No, that's good. Crazy's good.
Crazy. But
Okay, I want to talk a bit about your childhood growing up.
I was going to say, we haven't really gotten much to it. We've mostly
No.
been sticking in the future.
We've just been playing around, and there's no end to this interview. We're just going to keep going.
Aha, you called it an interview. I called it an interview earlier. Did I pass? Just
You
kidding.
are an interview. I want to interview you because I think that I would like to know more about you. So if you're coming home, if I'm coming home with you for the first time and you had 30 seconds in the car to prepare me for your family, what would you tell me? Like your family size, the personality, closeness, any rules,
I would tell you that my family can be maybe not so polite. My mom's a bit chaotic. My dad is a little more on the polite presentation side. So I would tell you just be yourself and maybe just be a little quiet, but that's about it. But I would prepare you that my family is, especially my mom, is maybe not the nicest person to your face. If she has something to say, she will say it to your face. So I would say they're a bit unstable. So, but I would prepare you. Maybe you want to meet my family right at first. I'd give you some time and push it off as long as possible. And then eventually when you can't push it off, I'd say, all right, just do the best you can, because no matter how polite you are, no matter how nice, they're going to be the way they are no matter what. So you could walk in with a bouquet of roses and chocolates and the entire state fair in your hands, and it may or may not make a difference. So,
And has it always been like that?
yes.
Okay.
Yes. I mean, I love my parents, and I've accepted that they won't ever change, and I can't change anything about them, so I can only just change myself and try to accept them the best I can for the rest of my life. But I also know that they'll never be supportive of any partner I have. They won't be, they may be supportive of my future success. My mom's a little more vocal on that more than my dad. My dad's a little more stubborn, but I also think it's because of jealousy, though, too, because they maybe aren't exactly successful. All their children are moving out of the house. They're getting older. They're having their own lives. They're getting older, so now they can't really like boss them around and keep them in this belittling life anymore, maybe. So now they see that maybe, like my brother, he lives in Japan and he's married. They have a kid on the way and he's in the Marines. He's a total badass. He's awesome. And there's just not really like congratulations about it. There's not. I guess because he's so far away, they feel kind of left out. But, and then, and me, kind of ups and downs. My mom's told me she's proud of me trying to get past myself and go to school. Nothing from my dad. So it's just,
But
not
you
so much.
spend time. You go and visit your family. You go to Florida maybe
Like
once,
a
twice
year.
a year. Yeah, yeah. I like to follow your travels and stuff. Yeah, I love seeing where people go because it makes whatever. I mean, if it's 109 degrees here and I'm seeing you like on an adventure and it's nice weather, or you're like, you're having a good time and I'm working or something. I'm like, okay, that'd be so fun. I'm never like,
Right.
I wish I was. It's not like that. I just like to see where people are. What are they doing?
Like, let me live vicariously through you. Is that the right word, vicariously?
Yeah, that's what I like to do. I
Yeah.
love to live vicariously through people and their travels. That's what I love about social media.
Right. That's
Yeah,
so cool. That's the best
I
part, to see
do.
where people are going. Like, wow, that's a nice place they're going to. Oh, that looks nice.
Yeah, you get to it's literally just like opening up an encyclopedia from the day and reading about it. Except now we get to see people like their perspective, not just what was published in a book or put on the internet.
You're right.
Put me inside your house when you were younger. Who lived there with you? Did you have siblings, grandparents? Like, how many siblings were in the house?
I'm the oldest of 5
Okay.
siblings. Both my parents were all 100% same parents.
Okay, nice.
They never married. And my parents are from Iowa, so all the folks live back there. They moved to Florida when I was 3, and then the rest of the siblings were born all in Florida after that.
Oh, okay.
So we all grew up together. My parents separated many, many times throughout their life, but they separated many, many times, got back together, had more children together, separated again. So all the kids, we always lived in the same house, so they never separated any of the children. So my mom always had all of us, and they'd get back together, not be together. A lot of verbal fighting, physical fighting between one another, and a very toxic relationship. So, but the siblings, all of us, we grew up pretty happy together. We grew up, none of us hated each other. We spent time together. We all got along very well. So I'd say that's good.
Yeah, so y'all were at least you were a unit as children. Y'all had fun. Were you close in age?
Yes, the closest in age I am is to my sister. She's 4 years younger than me, and then
Okay.
brother is 6 years, 10 years, 15 years. So, but my sister's a little closer in age to my other siblings. Like she's with,
Closer, yeah, on that end.
because she has me 4 years and my other brother 2 years. So she kind of has that nice little gap. But I'd say we all get along pretty well now. But now that my siblings have gotten a little older, the connection's a little bit better. So,
Yeah.
because they're not much kids anymore. So I talk to my brother a lot more, and then I talk to my other brother a lot more. But it also helps that they do live here, though, too.
And their personalities come out as they grow up and
Yeah.
leave the identity that we have under our parents, rules. What role did you kind of fit into when you were like in the home? Where you were the responsible one, the funny one?
That's true.
I caused trouble.
I was never a troublemaker. I mean, every kid gets in trouble sometimes, but I wasn't like a rebellious kid. I didn't, sneak out. I didn't skip school. I didn't cause fights. I never got expelled.
Nice.
But, my mom and dad would work often. My parents separated, so we all lived. So I would babysit often after school, take care of my siblings. The first time I babysat, I was 11 years old, and I babysat like 3 of my siblings. when they were babies. So I helped my mom quite a lot. I got a first job at 16. I've always been the responsible one because I was the oldest, but also still the happy one and the playful one and the funny one. So none of that ever affected me. So
What was your first job?
I worked at this place called Maui Nick's Surf Shop in Florida, and then at this place right next door to it called Beach Town, like a souvenir shop in Florida. So I made my little eight, what is it, 8.50 an hour, and that was big bucks when you were 16.
Well, I mean, that's huge bucks now. I think minimum wage is like
You're right.
$7.25 or something.
Yeah, you're right. Back in 2013, that was a lot of money.
That's really good. I mean, you probably weren't working 40 hours.
No, I was just working 2 days a week, like Saturdays and Sundays after school, and
And they were proud. Your parents were proud that you had a job. Like,
yeah, they did.
was it expected? You know, some people it's like you're 15, you're 16, go, you're a grocery checker out or whatever.
No, not at all. I went and got a job myself because my parents didn't have a lot of money, and I felt bad asking for essentials when they were broke, and I wanted my own money, and I wanted to be able to do my own thing, and I went and took the public bus and went to school or went to work if I needed to. I mean, and then just saved up my own money and paid my own phone bills, bought my own clothes, bought my own Starbucks. It was nice to have my own money.
When you did make mistakes, was it pretty acceptable? Did you get grounded much, or was it just kind of like, oh, these are mistakes and we all move on? How did you handle those things?
It's really crazy is now that I've gotten a lot older, a lot of my childhood and a lot of like certain circumstances like that example, I'm having a hard time remembering a lot of those things now. But when I say I wasn't a rebellious child, like I said, I still met that German guy in that hotel that one time and they caught me. Then the next time they met him, and then I didn't sneak around, I wasn't evil, but I did do that. And then me and my mom would fight every once in a while, like a normal person, but sometimes we would fight a lot. Like I remember I would throw things, she would hit back, and it was normal though because we all did that. They would call us names, we'd call them names, they'd swear at us. I'd throw a candle at them and they'd hit me, or we'd fight each other. So it was very rare, but it did happen. So it would say that it was kind of back and forth, but since I was getting a little older, obviously you can see more of your parents' flaws and their mistakes, and you're able to understand a situation a lot better than a child. So it's going to cause a lot more of that.
Were your friends ever at home? I had friends who like I had a friend who had a single mom, and she was pretty volatile. Not all the time. It was just in certain situations, but she didn't care who was at home. Like, some parents, if their friend is there, they are not going to, it'll happen later. But were your parents, were they discriminating if there was a friend with you there, or no? They could care less.
My dad, when there's people around, he's perfect.
Okay.
My mom, she'll act a little nicer, but once you start coming around for a long time, she'll start to act like herself again and fight in front of you or say things or act a certain way. And then boyfriend, she'll act a type of way, and she'll be her being drunk and disrespectful don't matter. She'll do that no matter what.
No matter, yeah.
But like yelling or causing things in the home, that's coming after some time. But my dad always acted perfect in front of
So
friends,
when you had problems,
colleagues.
could you go to your parents, or did you go to grandparents, or you went to your siblings, your friends? We always went to our friends. I wasn't going to my mom or my dad for problems. I was going to my friends.
That's a good thing though, having being able to have friends to.
Yeah, when you're 15 and you're navigating some pretty crazy things, I think that a 15-year-old's probably not. We were talking.
Maybe another 15-year-old's not the best.
We talked about that not too long ago. I was like, we were just helping each other. Literally, you need lunch money, I'll steal it from my parents and I'll give you lunch money, Oh gosh, you need birth control, you got a boyfriend. Okay, my mom won't care. We can go with this mom,
Gotcha.
we were raising each other, and he's like, I would hope my daughter is going to come to me, I need this. I have a boyfriend, she's going to come to me because I know she's going to do it anyway.
Yeah.
Because we figured it out,
I mean, you were there once, so you're not stupid.
No. Did you have a trusted person, adult, or how'd you navigate things?
I honestly, I never really just was like that or had a lot of issues. I mostly focused in school and work.
Breakup?
I didn't really have like a good serious boyfriend until maybe I was 17, and then that's the person I navigated the world through. Like
Girlfriend friendship breakups?
I mean, I had friends, but I never really discussed super serious issues with them. They knew about my family shit, and I may have told them, but I never was like, hey, I'm gonna come to your house to leave them or nothing. I usually kept to myself.
Yeah.
But I did vent to my boyfriend at the time at 17.
Yeah.
But I lost a lot of friends because when I was 17, I said I wasn't a rebellious person, but there were a few things that would be considered maybe not so good because I was secretive with that boyfriend. And then I dated my high school teacher when I was 17, 18.
Jesus.
I didn't tell my parents. And then he left the school,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I was
I
there.
mean, yeah. This is
But
we're not looking at that part. I'm just going.
my parents didn't like
Jesus, tell me.
I know.
Look at how I honestly believe that there were some inappropriate. I don't know if it would be all the way inappropriate, but there were definitely because I saw the behavior between the teacher and my friends when they were 21 at my 21st birthday, and the teacher from high school was like, "Hey, girls," and I'm going, like, and they, so I believe that there were always, especially in the 90s, I feel like there were some inappropriate behaviors with teacher and students. But so
Probably,
you
yeah,
had,
probably, yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
what
I
class
know.
was it?
It was a history class.
It was history class? Like,
So I understand how my parents were upset about it because if my daughter was 17 or 18, I wouldn't want them dating my high school teacher either. So they had every right to freak out the way that they did. But they didn't freak out as much as they could have because they said they didn't want to ruin their relationship with me. So they didn't threaten to call the cops. They didn't do any policing. They didn't try to separate me from him. They didn't force any of that.
looking at that, what do you think? Like, you're in the situation with your future child. What would you have called the cops? Could care less?
I would have separated him. Yeah.
Like, I don't care.
He's
Be
not
mad.
He's not a bad person, but looking back on it now, I don't say regret it because I'm still friends with him today. So I'm still friends with him. I've known him for 13 years, and he's still a good friend of mine.
Yeah.
And he's taught me a lot about life, and he helped me, especially after I turned 18. I moved in with him, and he taught me how to drive. He helped me with a lot of things and helped me navigate life and taught me a lot. So he has been a big role model in my life. But looking back at it, I don't think it was appropriate for me to be 17-year-old dating somebody that age. So I don't think it's appropriate. My parents didn't freak out as much as I think they should have. And I would never want my child dating somebody in that situation like that.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
a friend, a role model, or at least until they at least turn maybe 21 would be more appropriate. Because when I dated Lance, my dad was like, well, that's fine because you're 24 now, so you're old enough to do that now. But when
Yeah.
I was 17, it's not appropriate.
Yeah.
So,
Did what does he think about it looking back? Does he ever go, dang, that was teetering on the line, or?
I've never had this conversation with
Oh,
him.
yeah, no?
Because also I don't want to hurt his feelings though either. Because he's done so much for me and he's helped me a lot and we're very close. So I want to be like, hey, looking back, I don't think we should have dated. That was kind of inappropriate. Because I'm not sure how he feels, but we've never had that conversation. I never plan to have that conversation with him.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, because looking from a standpoint of my age, and I think the reason why is because I was, I wouldn't say I was ugly in school, but I was very average looking in school. I was a very average kid. I was weird. I had a very weird personality. I wasn't a cheerleader. I was a theater geek. I was in creative writing. So I didn't get a lot of attention from guys. So I think maybe having attention, someone thought it was cool, special. Maybe that is where that came from, having that attention, because I never got a lot of that. So that could have been if I was maybe going on dates regularly or I had boyfriends, maybe, yeah. But
Yeah.
I didn't. So I didn't get asked out. I never had people think I was pretty. Boys would never really talk to me. So.
Wow.
Yeah, so
I
that's
just learned something about you.
I know. It seems like every relationship has something weird happen. The appendix in Germany, the high school teacher.
Well, that's what I'm
Oh.
saying. Everyone has a story. We all
Mm-hmm.
have a story, and I feel like our stories are the building blocks too. They don't have to stay our foundation. Like, we can adjust the blocks and move them around, you know.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean that it was a bad past foundation, but your story is so multi-layered, you know, and I love it. I'm just really thankful that you're willing to talk about it so openly.
Everything's on the table. I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings that I talk about here. I don't want to hurt his feelings. I don't want to hurt my parents' feelings, but these are just
No.
things that I feel, and I don't regret anything of it, and I wouldn't change anything. But there's just things looking back like, hey, I wouldn't change anything, but maybe it wasn't the best thing that could have happened.
Yeah.
Maybe something else should have happened, but it didn't. And I'm here.
Is there anyone in your family that you were closest to when you were young?
Really just my sister. Really, my sister was the closest sibling I ever had because we were so close in age and everyone else was so young. And I moved out at 18. And so they were all really young. Like, I'm talking like 3 years old, 8 years old, 10 years old. They were so young, and I was 18.
No cousins? Because everyone was in Iowa.
You're correct. They were all in Iowa. My mom and dad didn't visit their families too often back at home. So since they didn't take us to visit and they didn't have a very close relationship with them, we didn't have a close relationship with them. So even now, I still don't have a super close relationship with my grandparents or my cousins or my uncles. And now that's up to me to decide that. It's not up to them because I'm an adult. So I can make an effort if I want to. And I just haven't, just because it's not in my habit, because we didn't grow up very close. Family wasn't like us. Being close with family and spending time with family wasn't super important with my parents. So I just kind of adopted that habit that it's not important, but it should be, because they're not bad people. Some are really good people, and some are okay, but they're some of them are actually good.
Is there anyone in your family that you feel that you took anything that shaped you from your family? Whether it was, I see this, and it could be, well, I saw this in my mother and I decided I didn't want to do that. Or I saw something in my father and I love this about, him, even though there are other things that might be difficult. Anything.
Yes. My parents aren't terrible people. They grew up in really shitty home situations too, and they never got therapy. They never helped themselves. So to me, they are kids who never helped themselves, who got a family and try to navigate the world, but were too stubborn to help themselves, and they thought that they were okay when they're not. So my mom is a really hard worker. She's not lazy. She doesn't give up. She will take a shitty job. She said she was going to go apply to work in 7-Eleven downtown at graveyard shift so she can have second income coming in. She doesn't think she's too good for any work. She will work. She doesn't complain. She'll complain about her coworkers and how tired she is, but she won't not work. She works hard. She doesn't ask people for money unless she's desperate and needs, like, I'm going to lose my house. I'm not making enough money. She will work. She's a very hard worker. She doesn't let the excuse of anything. She'll get off her ass and she'll go do something. So I do appreciate that for her, is that she always put her work in not being lazy. So she's a go-getter.
I love that. So, I have that for my mother. Showed me that she was a really hard worker, no matter what, she couldn't. So I took that from my mother.
That's good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not easy, but sometimes people, I think maybe because she grew up in survival mode her whole life, so that she's used to doing that. And I don't think she'll ever relax, ever. I think she's just so used to being in survival mode that that's just how she prefers. Yeah. Living on the edge, living paycheck to paycheck, never searching. I was like, what about getting a different job besides being a waitress or trying something different? No, I like making the tips. It's like, there's just a lot of unsafety there, and you have children and you need a place. But she's so used to, I need to pay my rent in 3 days. I got to make it. Living on the edge, that's all she knows. Yeah. So I do appreciate that habit, and sometimes she could be fun and outgoing, and I get that from her. My dad, he's very confident, even and egotistical. Even when he can be an asshole and confident, he will kind of hold his ground. And I have learned a bit of my assertiveness, my arrogance, and having things my way, and my confidence probably from him. So they're both pretty funny people. My dad's a little more on the lazier side. And a little more on the victim mentality side. So, yeah.
Well, it seems like a strong foundation. I mean, hard work ethics. And having confidence and self-esteem is, that's pretty good building blocks, I think.
I think so.
Yeah, I always try to I have been able to find the beautiful parts of my story with my parents, and there were some diabolical parts of that. But of course I got some really amazing things, It
wasn't all bad.
No, you and they teach you things. And I learned a lot of things from my parents. So it's, with the good comes the bad, and with the bad comes the good.
The good, the bad, and the ugly.
Yes. Damn that ugly. Well, we have
okay.
been talking for quite a while, and I think we're going to probably wrap it up here. But we're going to continue this conversation on our next episode. And we're going to talk about your move from Florida to Texas, because that is that's a huge leap to do. Not a lot of people just pick up and move across half of the country. You know, why did you move to Dallas? Like those questions, I'd like to know more about that. I want to know more about the club. I want to talk about being in the club. I was a dancer. I
right.
love talking about everything inside the club. I want to talk about all of it, the good,
Yeah.
the bad,
And
the ugly, you know, where it could go, where, you know, and being, for me, I'm a club owner. So I
Yeah.
always think I can do more good from the inside than if I left the club completely. You know,
Yes.
if I leave the club and I don't have anything to do with it, I can't help the women inside. And that's how I always think. I can only influence small changes. But when I get to know the women in the club and I have these one-on-one conversations with them, whether it's on a Friday night when I want to go in or like a 1 o'clock in the afternoon and I want to just stop in and go and say, hi girls, you know, and introduce myself. I get to hear their ideas. I get to hear their complaints. I get to hear all this stuff. And that's why I try to like build a relationship in the club with the girls because I was
real.
there. I had the ideas. I had the changes. I had the complaints, you know, and I am able to whisper in the ear of people who can make those changes, you know, and I love whenever I can see some of my work behind the scenes coming through, you know, whether it's like something happening with management or a new rule that's happening in the club and I'm like, okay, you know, or we've got a new female manager or we've got, you know, a bunch of female managers and I'm like, yeah, I think I helped influence a little bit of that. But so
That's good.
definitely want to talk more about the club because you have a lot of knowledge. I think you could bring a lot of advice and perspective. And for the audience too, I think we're misunderstood as entertainers.
Yeah.
A lot of us don't seek that, but it is where we find that we're accepted and it becomes kind of like a second family. You
Yeah.
build a community. These people sing you happy birthday. They help you when you need it. That was my experience, at least. You know, I felt that it was a dysfunctional family, of course, but it was better than any family and support that I had encountered. You know, these were my time in the industry was as positive as I made it, you know.
Yeah.
And so I love giving that perspective and shedding light for others who have judgment, you know. Talk about your car accident, two DWIs. So we've got a lot to talk about. And then your new search for faith. And I'm definitely interested in that talk. So I do want to, is there anything that you want to close up with today?
Thank you for watching and stay tuned for next time. This is Briann and you're watching Disney Channel.
And out.